Good evening, one and all. I, Amar Bakle, Program Lead Technical at MIT SGE, would like to welcome you in this session on Introduction to LinkedIn Learning, a platform which has its own brand and playing a major role today in the work of continuous learning. I'm glad to introduce over here the speaker for today's session, Ms. Ritu Pal, who is a Senior Customer Success Manager with LinkedIn with over 14 years of experience. She has worked as an Learning and Development Manager, Facilitator, Instructional Designer, and a Learning Consultant in technology and management consulting firms. In her role, she interfaces with LinkedIn Learning customers and empowers organizations around the world to develop a culture of learning. She has a post graduation in human resources from XLRI Jamshedpur and has a diploma in counseling and psychotherapy from the Tavistock and Portman Institute, London. She is a certified practitioner on neuro-linguistic programming, transactional analysis and is an associate member of the Indian Society for Applied Behavioral Science. I welcome you, Ritu ma'am, for this session and you can take over.
Thank you so much, Amar sir. Thank you for the introduction and very kind words. I'm very happy to be here today. So welcome everyone to Introduction to LinkedIn Learning. And I'd also like to call it the Future of Learning session because we're going to talk about what learning is going to look like for all of us now. Um, I'm going to start with something interesting. I'm not going to introduce myself again because Amarji has done a very, very nice job of it. So I'm just going to straight away move into the presentation. And I want to start with showing you this picture. Okay, let's just start. Okay, let me just give you a heads up on what it's going to look like today. We're definitely going to talk about the talent landscape and the changes in skills because that's a very important part of LinkedIn and what we do at LinkedIn and how LinkedIn Learning has that as a part of its learning journey as well, how we have that embedded in our learning programs as well. What does it mean for you? What do these changes, these times that we're living in, what does that mean for you as a student? What does this mean for you as a professional when you go out and look for your professional jobs, and how is it going to pan out for you? LinkedIn Learning and what it is, how are we going to help, what can we do to help you in this, how can we get started with LinkedIn Learning. So I'll give you a demo of what the platform is like, how can you best use it for your learning, and of course in the end we'll do some best practices and question and answer session. So this is what it'll look like, and now I will take you to the session. Let's dive in straight away. So I wanted to start with these three pictures that I wanted you to see, and maybe you can use the chat panel because that's one thing that you can use to communicate, and I'd love for it to be interactive. But anything that when you look at these three pictures, what comes to your mind? What are the similarities in these three photos? And you can chat with you can use a chat panel, but I'll just give you a minute. So frankly, what's happened is that all three photos represent jobs that did not exist or were not in high demand, at least till a few years ago. And today there has been about 4 to 12% growth in, or maybe slightly more, in these jobs. So if you see drone engineers, solar power consultants, and background investigators, these are the jobs that we're talking about, and there has been so much growth from 2018 till today in these jobs. And that is how you see our landscape is changing so quickly. We live in such a dynamic world these days. If you look at these stats for a minute, you would see that the shelf life of skills that we have is less than 5 years now. 65% of primary school children will work in jobs that don't even exist today. So children who are growing up now will have completely different jobs. Gone are the days where everybody wanted to just become an engineer or doctor or lawyer. There are so many more jobs available and so many more skills that people can learn. And last one, 55% of skills will be changed by 2022. So in just a couple of years, it'll be a very different landscape. So people who are in particular jobs right now might not have that job anymore, and they might have to upskill or reskill themselves to be or to remain relevant in today's times. So this is what I wanted to just set the context with, to see where and how we are going, how dynamic the world is today with whatever's happening in terms of development. And so that brings me to my next slide, which says that what are the jobs or what are the skills that we're looking at. And you know that LinkedIn as a platform has the ability to understand the skills data, and based on our data we see that the top 5 soft skills and top 10 hard skills are these are the skills that are there on the slide for you. The skills that got you where you are today are not the skills you will need to prepare for the future of work. That is the highlight of this slide that I want to give you. That we've done certain things and we are here. We did learn a certain way, and so we've landed up here. And this is true not only for students but also for working professionals. This is true for everybody. It's relevant to everybody that we need to constantly upskill ourselves to be relevant in today's times. And that is why we want to be a part of solution that we want to offer to you for these times. And if you see what's happening with what is LinkedIn Learning? So LinkedIn Learning is nothing but an online resource that can help you. It can help you develop skills in terms of software, creative skills, business skills, anything. And it can help you not only meet your professional goals, but also meet your personal goals in terms of learning. It's interesting because this is the data. this is uh, this is what happened when LinkedIn and Lynda came together. So lynda.com, which is the one that initially which is the library which had about 6,500 courses, was taken over by LinkedIn. And with this partnership, what came about is that now we have over 9,000 courses, just alone English courses that I'm talking about. We have about 1,800 new courses every year. In a week's time, we produce about 30 courses every week. Because there is a lot of data, we have 665 million members as a part of LinkedIn platform. There are so many more. The AI of the platform is so much better that that we combine the most beautiful and most nicely produced content from lynda.com in a manner that it becomes very personalized for the learner, because they can choose the skills that they want to learn. And it also becomes something which is very familiar, because it seems like you're looking at a platform that's responding to your needs because of the AI that is built in the platform. So this is the good news, that this is going to stay with you and you've been provided these licenses. So I would urge you on this slide to please do activate your licenses. If you haven't done it by now, this is a good time to do it. Maybe today when you go back, try doing that. This also brings me, I want to give you a little bit of context as to what is the science behind our content production? How do we look at learning? So when we think about learning, we look at learning, we have three facets that we want to look at. First, we want to give the right content. When I say right content, I mean relevant content. What is it that somebody needs today in terms of being relevant in their industry, in terms of their likes or dislikes, in terms of their interest area. So we try and produce the content which is very relevant to today's times. We make the platform convenient. So you know that you can have this content available to you on any device. So you can have it on your laptops and you can also have it on your mobile phone as an app, because we want learning to not be something that you do once in a while, but learning to be something that you do all the time and whenever you want to do it, anytime, anywhere access. We also provide the best kind of engagement, because the kind of authors that we have, the kind of people who are talking about these topics to you, are people who are either authors of great books on those topics, or they are professionals, or they are very industry recognized experts on topics like that. These, we choose very carefully the authors or the program instructors that are there on the platform. Another thing that I want to highlight here is that we design for optimal learning, which means that even though it's a platform which you engage with in terms of in a screen, there is the visual aspect of it is met, because it's in video content is a part of it, because you're looking at video content, which is by far, a lot of people are visual learners, so that aspect is taken care of. We also have launched audio courses, because of course in the COVID times people are so tired of screen times, that auditory aspect of just hearing something when you're going for a walk, or when you're commuting, or when you are just sitting at home and you don't want to really constantly engage your eyes with something, there's also auditory part we engage that. And kinesthetic, by kinesthetic I mean people who want to do things and learn. So there are also exercise files for a lot of our in a lot of our programs, where you can actually download the exercise files and do those exercises, which makes it applicable for most kinds of learners. That is something that we kind of look at when we design content. Most of our content is created in, actually all of our content is created in-house. Our studios are only next to Hollywood studios. They are very, very good in terms of, if you see the quality of the content, you will notice that it's designed very well. We are in fact, all of our content is taught by subject matter experts or published authors or industry recognized professionals. If you look at emotional intelligence as a topic, then you will have Daniel Goleman, who is really the expert on emotional intelligence, teaching a course on LinkedIn Learning, which to me was very, very interesting when I first started looking at LinkedIn Learning. I'd move on now. So this is how, so now that you have a link that you must have got from MIT, which I would have loved, by the way, if I was a student and I got that from my institute, but that didn't happen for me, but you've got it, so you're very, very lucky. So you are here, this is how your screen looks like, I'm sure. I hope you've activated, I hope you're already in. If you're not, please make it a part of your, please do remember to go ahead and sign in and activate your license today. You can also download the mobile app. The interface of mobile phone is also very, very similar to how our online platform is. So if you see, it looks almost the same. The one thing that I want you to remember, and I'm hovering over here, because LinkedIn Learning app is different from LinkedIn app. So when you try and download, remember that you have to download LinkedIn Learning app. It'll have a play button like this, and you can download it from in your mobile phones. And it's very simple process. You just need your LinkedIn password, email and password, and you can log in. The best part about the mobile app is that you can also download courses to view them when you're offline. And that feature is not available on your online app, but it is available in your mobile app. So I'd highly encourage that while you activate your license, you also try and utilize our mobile app. Now we're going to quickly go into the demo of what it is that LinkedIn Learning platform can do for you. So I'm just going to go here and take you to how my account looks like. So this is your home page. This is the home page, and this is how it looks like. What I'm going to highlight a few areas which I think will help you in making learning more efficient for you, or making learning easy for you. So if you see, what I recommend doing is that when you go here, do set yourself a weekly goal. So if you see, I have set a really, really low goal, which is 15 minutes. But why I have set 15 minutes is that I want to make sure that I'm doing some learning every single week, and I feel good about it. I feel as if there is something that's constantly, that I'm investing time in myself. But you can also edit your goal, and if you think you have more time, you can either make it 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 120 minutes, whatever you want. So you can edit your learning goal, but I would highly recommend that you set a learning goal for yourself, because learning is not something that you do in your free time. It is not something that you do when you are given a task, but it is something that you do every single day, so that it becomes a habit. What is it that, I'm so sorry. Okay, I'm going to go back. So if you see here, it shows you, it gives me top picks for me. How has it come up with this? It's come up with this based on what I have entered as input, as my interest areas on the platform. Also, it's picking up on the kind of things that I'm looking for on the platform. So the AI is built in such a way that when you're looking for certain kind of courses, or when you're looking for certain kind of topics, it picks up what your interest areas are, and it will make recommendations here. So this is a very important section. It's a good idea to take a look at it. How did I do my skills? And that's another important thing that I want you to do. So when you enter the platform for the first time, it will ask you to put your skills in. But you can, if you've not done that, you can do it now. What you can do is you can go on me, and you can go here, skills, and you can just add. So if you see, I'm interested in organizational leadership, mobile photography, human resources, art direction. These are my interest areas, and I've put them here. But if you're looking for something else, you can just click here and you can add. You can even take them off. So you can just, like, let's say if I want to remove a skill, like, it's as simple as that. If you're interested in, let's say, software development, you can look for it here and add that skill. So it's as simple as just doing this. Why would this help? There are a few things that I want you to know about this. This will help because it will give you recommendations based on the skills that you put up. So it'll become a more personalized platform for you. You will feel as if you're looking at something that you're interested in. Second thing, when you put in your skills, make sure that you don't crowd this section. Don't put 10 or 15 skills, because that doesn't help. What I would rather recommend is that you put only 3 to 5 skills, and you can always change your skills. So let's say right now, this is what I'm interested in. If I don't want to do mobile photography, I can take that off and put something else here. And so the recommendations also change. Also, I get different kind of content. So I'd really, really highly encourage you to use this feature on your LinkedIn Learning profile. We'll go back to the main screen. And what I wanted to show you now is our library. So if you go here, this is what the library looks like. Of course, it doesn't give you everything, but it gives you a snapshot. So we have over 10,000 courses, and these courses are further divided into business, creative, and technology. What is business? Business are generally leadership and soft skills. So if you see, you have topics like business analysis, career development, finance and accounting. Technology is mostly around cloud, Java. So these are tech topics mostly. And creative is very interesting. It's my favorite because you not only learn your core subjects, so you learn things that are academic, but you also can learn things that are skills of the future. For example, Photoshop, or if you want to learn Illustrator, or if you want to learn how to make videos or how to do InDesign, all of this is also available to you. So I'd highly encourage that you look at creative as well. And also, when you're looking at putting your interests in, you also look at putting some areas which fall under the category of creative. So it gives you some recommendations based on that. Another feature that I want to show you is that if you go here, we have created learning paths. So what is a learning path? So I'm just going to click on one. So if I click on business library, these are the learning paths that are available to me under business library. What is the learning path? A learning path is it's a systematic alignment of different courses to fall under one category. It's like a course, it is like a collection of courses, but the only thing is that it's formatted in such a way that it's systematic. So it's sequential. It gives you basics first, and then it moves to more complex topics, and then it moves to the most complex topics. So I'm just going to open one for you so you can take a look at it. So I'm going to open Leading Others Effectively. So see, this is so if you see, it's for 5 hours and 48 minutes, and it has courses from different authors. There's a course here. This is how it looks like. And so if you see, it starts with leading with a vision, and it ends with leading through relationships. And so it's in a sequential manner. And after this, you can even earn your certificate, which we all love, and which we can post, of course, on our LinkedIn account. And that shows that we are future ready and we are constantly investing in ourselves and our learning. So this is what a learning path looks like. One thing, that when you start your learning path, it's not necessary that you have to finish your learning path right there and then. You can also save something. So let's say I'm interested in this, I can save it. And so when I go to my home page, under saved, I will be able to see this learning path, right? And so you can pick it up whenever you want, and if you are not able to complete it, it will still be there under your, once I start it, it will fall under my in progress category. So if you see, there are some courses that I've already started, and it gives me how many minutes I've already done and what's left of it, and it puts it under in your in progress tab. Another thing that I wanted to tell you was that you from your organization, for me this is LinkedIn. These are basically courses that are recommended to us by our organization. For you, any courses or any custom content that is recommended to you by MIT should be here. So you also take a look at this and keep an eye for this tab so that you can take a look at this whenever somebody assigns something to you. So this is what I wanted to show you. Now I want to show you so let's say this is a course. So when you click on a course or you hover over a course, you will quickly see what is it who's the author. You will be able to see a little bit of an introduction of what the course is. You will also be able to see who are other connections. So if you see, there are a few team members that I have who like this course. So I will definitely be interested in seeing why is it that they like this course. So if you see, it gives me these if you see, it gives me these Atit Patel likes it, or Ricardo likes it, or Jan likes it. So I kind of understand what is it that my peers are watching. So you will also be able to do that. And so you can look at that. Another thing that I wanted to show you was that this is an interesting feature. So if you have only less than 30 minutes, it gives you all the courses which are for less than 30 minutes. So you can just take a look, and if you like something, let's say on a particular day you have 30 minutes before you start your college or before you start your work, you can just take a look right here. Then I wanted to show you about how is it that you do your search feature. It's very simple in this age of Netflix. I think we definitely understand how search works, because people spend more time looking at the search options in Netflix or any other platform today than really watching something. And so we don't want that to happen to LinkedIn Learning. Why I'm saying that to you is because you know that we have more than 10,000 courses. So while it's great and it's a great library, we don't want you to feel lost, that I don't know how to find the course that I'm looking for. So I'm just going to give you a few tips on how you can effectively do a search. So let's say if I want to look at Microsoft Excel, because it's the most common topic that most people in most organizations, most colleges are looking for. So if I type Microsoft Excel, if you see, I get 5,962 results for Microsoft Excel. Now, which is the one that I'm looking for? So either you can just go by right here, and if this is what you're looking for, you can click here, or you can sort it here. So when I say sorted, what right now it is giving me is the best match. What is the best match for me? Best match for me is based on my learning habits. So the AI is looking at what my learning habits are, and it's predicting these topics to be by my best match based on what I have looked for in the past. I can also change this to view count. When I change it to view count, it really is about how many people have viewed this course, right? So Excel 2016 Essential Training has been viewed by most number of people. And this data tells me that it's a popular course. Or if I look at Excel Tips Weekly, it is viewed by these many people. So I again know that it's a popular course and I can take a look at it, or it's a popular learning content. So that's the view count option. Or you can even look at the newest or the latest. So like I said, we add about 30 courses every week. So there are certain ones that you might so if you look at this is updated 1 month ago. And Excel advanced formulas and functions. So I also know that this is the latest course on Excel, and I can take a look at this. These are a few features that you can use in terms of matching it. Also, I want you to take a look at this here on the left hand side. If you see that maybe if I'm looking for a course, then I can filter this search by type, and I can only look at the 255 that are available to me. And so in a course, if I'm looking at only courses, I can now filter down it to, let's say, intermediate level, because I want to do something which is intermediate level. And so it will further reduce the search for me. And I can also say that I want something which is between 30 to 2 minutes. So if you see, I only have 2 courses left here. So I now know that if I'm looking for something which is only for these many minutes, then this is what I have. If I'm in fact looking for 30 to 60 minutes, I have about 19 courses. So you can definitely further down your break it down, and you can then find the most relevant content for you. I also want to show you something interesting, that let's say if you're looking at Microsoft Excel course, and if the topic that you're looking for, let's say you only have 20 minutes to spend, and you're trying to do some work, and you're looking for, let's say, quickly to understand pivot tables. How do you search for that? So you go, so I'm going to clear all these here, and I'm going to type pivot table. When I type pivot tables, you will see I have 608 results for pivot tables. Now I only want to look at something very quickly. So I'm going to go for videos, because videos are much smaller than courses. So what is a course? A course is a collection of videos actually. I will go into a course and show you that, but videos are the smaller chunks of data. So if you see right here on the very top, I see how to create a pivot table. So that's something that probably, if I'm interested in, I can look at it. If I'm looking for something advanced, then I can actually go here and click on advanced, and I can say, so it gives me create and modify pivot table. So it also gives me the option of learning how to modify, create pivot tables and filter with slicers. So this is, of course, a little more advanced than what the first search recommended to me. So I'd highly recommend that you use these features here. You can even look at software. So if you want to see only Office 365, you can select only Office 365. So it will give you courses which are only in that particular which fall under Office 365. So this is how this particular category works. I'm just going to take everything off and show you how a course looks like now. So let's say I want to access a course. This is Excel pivot table for beginners. So let me go here for a minute. Once you learn, and I'm going to pause this. And if you see, this is how your course is going to look like, right? I'm going to show you a few options here. So when you look at the course, a course is generally, you will see when you move down, it'll give you a overview of who it is for. So if you're a beginner level person, it's for you. It gives you a description of what it is going to be like. It gives you the learning objectives, which means that what is it that you will be able to learn after this is over. It also tells you how many people have viewed this course. Also, and this is one point that I wanted to mention, this will also tell you that you can use it for your continuing education units. Now, continuing education units are very popular amongst working professionals. Also, if you as a student are working towards, let's say, a PMP certification, or you're working towards some kind of, like, this is relevant for NASBA certification. So when you do this course, it gives you 0.5 credits for that course, so for that certification. So basically our content, a lot of our content has credits assigned to it. So if you're trying to take that certification exam, this will really help you, because you need a particular number of credits to be able to take the exam. Also, this course gives you PDUs for Project Management Institute, PMI certification. So I want you to make sure that when you're looking at a course, you also scroll down and see if it gives you credits for some certification, if you want to work towards a certification, that is. The other thing that I want to show you here is that we have some very interesting features. One of it is question and answer. So if you have a question, you can actually ask it right here, which is what makes this platform very different from other platforms. So there is a concept of social learning. So you don't just learn from the course, but you also learn from sharing, and you also learn from asking questions. So if you see, Stanley has asked a question here, and so there is also, sometimes your instructor will come back and answer you. Even if the instructor doesn't answer, which sometimes they might not, sometimes they even do, at least the people who are viewing the course, you will see that you start getting answers from them. They also become your connections. So this is a great way of social learning and peer learning. So I'd love for you to use the question and answer section. Another thing that I like personally is the notebook. So let's say if I'm trying to do something and if I want to make a note, I can actually put my note here and I can just press enter and it'll get saved here. So every time I come to this course on the platform, I will actually have a note which I had put here. So that is something that is also something that you can definitely use. Also, if you're looking for a transcript, let's say there is some accent that you can't follow, or it's difficult to understand, you can always look at the you can always turn the transcript thing on, and it will give you in writing what the person is saying or what the instructor is saying. I want to tell you a little bit about how the contents of the course look like. So this is what I really am interested in, because we feel that learning has to be something that you do all the time, that you do when you're working, that you do while you're trying to, let's say if you're working on a project and you quickly want to learn something about pivot tables and you want to learn how do I start building a pivot table. So you don't have to go through everything. You can just go right here and start that section, because these are all videos. So it will take you right here to that section that you exactly want to learn. Let's say I want to learn something later. So I can click on this option, which is the save option, and I can bookmark it. It will save it for me and it will help me. It will show under my learning, and then I can go and do it later. So this is how your courses are made. Every course also has a chapter quiz, if you see, which really is something that will help you understand or refresh your own knowledge when you're doing a course. This is something I wanted to highlight. Also, let's say if I don't have the time to do this course, but I do want to do this course sometime. So I'm going to go to a different topic. Let's say I'm back on my screen and I would love to, I love this course. It's called The Coaching Habit. I'm interested in coaching, but okay, this is a get abstract. We'll come back to that. Let's say I like this course, Negotiating the Non-Negotiable. I think that's an interesting one. So what can I do? I can click here. This content is brought to you. And I don't want to right now do it. What I can do is I can, just one sec. Okay, so let's say that is also Blinkist summary. I'm so sorry, but let's say if I want to go to a course, this is the course, and if I want to just add it to my, if I want to add it, so I can just save it from here, and you can see it's right here in my saved courses. Now what I can do is whenever I want, I can go back to my saved history and I can go and read these courses. If you see, I saved this as well, create the value field first, so I can do that as well. So these are some options that I wanted you to know. The next thing that I want to talk about is your My Learning section. So if you go to your home page, you will see the second tab here is My Learning. Now we looked at skills. You already know that you can add skills in your profile, on your profile here. And when you add your skills, it helps the AI, artificial intelligence, make the right recommendations to you. What is your learning history? Your learning history, my learning history tells me all the courses that I've completed so far. So what I can do is I can go back, and if I want to see what is that I've learned this year, I can go back and check my learning history. What I can also do here is that if, let's say if I've completed a course, I can download a certificate, or I can just add it to my profile. So if I click to add to profile, it will add my completion certificate to my profile, which I highly recommend again, because I think it's a great way to showcase what you're learning and how you're developing every single day. This section for you is going to be from MIT. So whatever you get assigned from MIT will fall under here. This is the collection that I am. So, okay, so you can also create collections. So I think that's another interesting one that I want to show you. So let's say you want to create a new collection. What is a collection? A collection is something very similar to how you create a playlist on your iPod or on your music device. So it's very simple. You just click here, you give it a name. Let's say if I give it a name test, and I say learning, you can of course say what you really want to say. I can create a collection. Okay, so now I should have, okay, if I want, I can, okay, so sorry. Okay, go to all collections. It is showing me 2 collections, but I don't see it here. But when you create a collection, it generally gives you the option of looking at a collection there. I will show you later how you can add other things to your collection or add other courses. Once you've created a collection, you can also share it. You can share it to, you can either make it only visible to you or you can share it. So for me, it's LinkedIn. For you, it will be MIT. So you can share it with all the people who are there in your organization, or you can even share it with LinkedIn members. So that collection will be visible to a lot of LinkedIn members globally. So that's also an option that's available to you. This feature shows me all my saved courses. These are the courses that I really want to do and I want to take. So it gives me a snapshot of what is it that I have saved but I have not yet completed, so I must complete them. It also shows me my in progress, which are quite a bit here. If you see, there are about 61 courses, because I'm also someone who believes that you don't have to really complete everything, but if I want to check a section like I just showed you, I sometimes just look at that particular section. But whenever I want, I will definitely look at what's left of the course and complete it. Again, you have the option of sharing. Let's say you liked a course a lot, you can share it. So you can recommend this course, and depends on how you want to do it. So I can either share it to on the LinkedIn platform, or I can share it with my connections, or I can even send it to, let's say, an individual. So if you have a student, or if you have a peer learning group or something, you can share a particular course with them. This is what I wanted to share. I'm just trying to So from here, you can also share it on Teams. I don't know if you use Microsoft Teams, but there are a couple of options to share a course from here as well, which I wanted to show you. So in the workplace, your coach. This is also something that you can do. I think that's really about it in terms of what you can do on the platform. This is what I wanted to show you today. Now I'll go back to my presentation. So that's what you can do on the platform. And I just wanted to, in the end, share some best practices with you in terms of platform. So of course, there are these authors that are there who are industry experts, but we also have some great influencers on LinkedIn Learning. So if you take a look, I'm sure that you know like a couple of these people, and they are there. Their content is available on LinkedIn Learning. So you can definitely take a look if you like. And there are many more. I only took photos of 5 people here, but there are many more that are there that you know. So you can definitely follow them. You can try and see what content they're uploading, or if you like somebody and their thought process, then you can follow and understand or use them as your inspiration in the kind of work that you are doing or studying. Another thing that we have now is that we have access to Blinkist and Get Abstract. So I'm sorry, when I was trying to open, that's what opened. Blinkist and Get Abstract are basically book summaries. So of course we produce content which are videos, which is LinkedIn's content, but these are separate. These are books which are bestsellers, which are written by great authors. So if you see, we have Simon Sinek's book, Start with Why. And what this gives you, this section gives you a quick summary of what the book is all about. So some chapters and what is it that you can learn. So I think it's a great, I personally love this particular thing because it's mostly podcasts. So while you're walking or while you are doing anything, while you're commuting, you can just put your headphones on and listen to a book or listen to what somebody has said in that particular book. So that's an interesting one that I want you to look at. Join study groups. Like I said, learning groups is an excellent feature. It is great. I myself have joined a few learning groups, and I think it's very good because you start contributing, you start understanding, you start relating with the people who are thinking about things just in the way you are thinking, and there is a lot more that you learn from peers always. That's something that I'd highly recommend that you do. It's great to download exercise files if that is what you think works for you. If you are someone who likes to do and learn certainly, because not all of us learn by listening or by watching. Some of us want to do something to learn. So I would say that you can definitely download the exercise files and do them, and that will make your learning even more, it'll even more sticky. You will remember it more. And of course, not to forget, please use and download the mobile app so that you can actually have access to anytime learning, and it is not something that you do only when you have your laptop with you or only when you are in front of the computer, but you do something all the time or really on the go. And there's another thing that I said, that you can take notes. There's a notebook that's available to you. So let's say you're studying for a particular exam, let's say you're preparing for a PMP certification, or you're preparing for a test in your college, and you think that there is a course which is useful for it, you can make your notes right here. So every time you come back, you don't have to start and keep looking for your notes. They can be right there, saved under that particular course, and you can just look at them whenever you want. And last but not the least, this is our help center. If you have any questions, if you ever want to reach out to somebody, these are the two links that you can definitely, I'll send these links across, but you can ask us for support. Let's say your account is not working, or there's a problem. Of course, you reach to MIT first, but depending on the process that they follow there, you let us know. You can also reach the support team. You can even chat with them or submit a ticket so that they can help you out if, let's say, there's a technical issue or a problem. And then I come to the last page, and I'd like Amarji to come back.
Hi Ritu, really thanks a lot for a very insightful session. Now, as you can see, these are the benefits of LinkedIn Learning. If you join it via MIT SDE, of course, you should be a student. Just before getting to these benefits, I would like to also mention that I'm myself a certified PMP professional. And as Ritu mentioned, that you can have PDUs claimed to maintain your PMP certification through LinkedIn Learning videos. I'm doing the same. So currently, I have collected more than 10 PDUs via LinkedIn Learning videos and articles, and the exams over there. So that is one of the good ways of maintaining your CEUs and PDUs as mentioned by Ritu. So the benefits, if you look at LinkedIn Learning, if you take it as an individual subscription, then it is costing around 16,800 INRs per year. Correct me if I'm wrong, Ritu, on that part. But with MIT SDE, for the students who have enrolled with us post August 2020, we have included it in the admission package. So many of you would have got mails after your enrollment that your LinkedIn Learning subscription has been initiated from our end. While for the students who have enrolled before August 2020, we have provided this at a subsidized fees of 4,000 INR. To claim that, you need to contact with your respective RMs, and they can initiate the further proceedings with you. They can let you know how to pay it. You can also visit our website www.mitsg.com. Over there, we have a specific tab provided for LinkedIn Learning. From there also, you can pay for the LinkedIn Learning subscription. Of course, as Ritu mentioned, that there can be learning paths in respect to your courses, in respect to your likings. Of course, there will be curated or prepared learning paths which will be created by your academic mentors over a period of time, and those learning paths will be also accessible to you depending on your course, what you're doing in MIT SD. Rest, for any queries on LinkedIn Learning via MITSG, request to contact over the ID which has been given on the PPT, LinkedIn Learning at mitsg.com. Ritu, anything else from your side?
I think that's all. I'm happy to take any questions if there are any.
Perfect, Ritu. I would just like to I will read out the questions for you.
Mhm.
These type of This is from Mr. Lal Bahadur Vishwakarma. These type
Okay.
of courses are valid in MNC or not?
Uh, when you say these type of questions, that does
The
it
the
is
the courses, the courses or LinkedIn Learning, they are valid. I think this is more from the job perspective or HR perspective, that one can show it over their CV.
Absolutely. If you see, most of our most of LinkedIn members are professionals. I'm saying this to everyone. So actually, most of our customers are also corporate customers, and it's very, very relevant. A lot of these courses help people in continuing their education even when they started working. There's a lot of value attached to a lot of courses, stuff like business skills and Python and technical skills. They're very relevant in MNCs as well.
That's right. There's next question from Mr. Suryavanshi, wherein he mentions that certain courses are of 30 minutes, while certain other courses of over more than 5 to 6 hours. So is it
Mhm.
based these minutes? Okay, what is attached to a course? Is it based upon the importance level of that course, and how many courses one can do over LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn Learning?
You can do as many courses as you want on your LinkedIn profile. The time, the duration of the course is based on the intensity of the course. So let's say if the course is talking a lot, it's a very in-depth course, right? So then it'll have more number of hours attached to it, but you don't have to do the entire 5 hours. Maybe you find 2 hours of the content which was most useful to you, so you can still just do the 2 hours. The only reason why you do complete a course is because, one, you're looking for that kind of knowledge. You find like all the contents that are mentioned in the course help you learn something. Also, in the end, you get a completion certificate if you complete the course. But they are definitely different based on the level of learning that you want to achieve from the course.
Right. There is another question from Miss Swati, which says, would the notes what we are writing on the course would be visible to everyone, or is it only the user who can see the notes?
It's only for the learner. It's only for you on your account.
Okay. There is another question from Mr. Anirban, wherein he says that how recognized is LinkedIn Learning and its certification in today's industry, and do I need to pay extra for the certifications?
See, certifications are is a different, yeah, you have to pay if you want to. That's not, LinkedIn does not provide certifications. What LinkedIn provides to you is to take the exam, you need to meet certain criteria of certain credits that you need to have. So LinkedIn provides you with, so all these courses that you can do as part of the license that you have. Otherwise, there are people who go, like there are these PMP institutes which charge money and provide training for things like that. But here you get these courses for on the platform for free. You have to definitely pay for the certification because that's done by the PMI body and it's not LinkedIn certification.
Right. Are there any content relevant to the publishing industry, that is editing, typesetting, like that? That is another question.
Publishing industry, we do have clients which are publishing houses, so definitely there will be content. You can take a look at this, but we will have, even if it's not very advanced, but at a basic level, we do have content for most industries.
Okay. There is one more question from Mr. Nilesh, which says, I think this can be a good, input also. After completion of a particular module, are there any projects assigned to the user?
So there are exercise files that are there that you can use. There are no projects as such, but what generally happens, and I will just try and explain that a little bit, is that we use LinkedIn Learning as part of a bigger learning structure that you have. So let's say you're working on a project, some of these courses will help you. You can look at some of these courses and work on a project. But in as such, a project does not assign a course does not give you a project to do or something like that, but they kind of complement that kind of learning environment.
Okay. Another question is from Anna Malai. How will be the LinkedIn Learning credits give value to a new or existing job? In what way it will be visible to the recruiters?
So when you are doing some courses that are okay, there are two parts in which I want to answer this. One is that for any course that you do, uh, there is a certification, there's a completion certificate that you can attach on your profile. When you've done a course on, let's say, communication. And you can also add communication as a skill on your profile, right? When your recruiters come and see your LinkedIn profile, they see that you are constantly investing in your learning because of these certifications that you are doing from LinkedIn, or you have these certifications by them. Also, when you're preparing for PMP, you can mention like some of these courses which are PMP related, or let's say some other certification that you're pursuing. When you have your discussion or when you have your talk, one is the first impression of looking at your profile and knowing that this person is interested in developing their skills. Second, when you have your conversation, you already know about these things. So you already know what is there in the certification for PMP, let's say. So they know that you're more aware and you're investing in learning. That's how it helps you. It gives you an edge over someone who doesn't know or is yet to start.
Right. Ritu, I think we would take this last question, which is
Sure.
from Miss Saili Bhosle. So, how to identify which is a good course, over LinkedIn Learning?
Yeah, so I think one thing that you can do is the view count view, because when you do the view count, what happens is it's a really popular course. So I'm going to be biased and say all courses are good, but that's not a good enough answer for you. What I will say is that it really depends on what you're looking for in the course, right? Are you looking for something that is an academic type? So let's say you're looking at gaining knowledge, very in-depth knowledge about something. I will then look for something which is a learning path, which will give me in-depth knowledge about a particular topic. If I'm looking to learn something which is something that I can use right now in, let's say, my project or something, I'll look at a course. If I'm looking at something where I just want to develop a skill, I will look at something which is 10-15 minutes only. So the way you want to choose your courses is depending on what is the outcome that you're looking for, because not every time you invest or you try and do something because you want, like, you don't want to learn in depth about all subjects. So when you're looking for something like that, you look at the top views. How many views are there for a course? That will give you an indication.
Right. Of course, Ritu, thanks a lot. I would like to also, answer certain questions which I can see at my end, which are in relation to the subscription. It is
Sure.
from one Mr. Cherian, which says, as a MIT student, I can learn any number of courses in a year paying 4,000 INR. Yes, you can learn any number of courses. There is no limitation as such, in terms of how many number of courses you can learn in that package of 4,000 INR. So just don't worry about it. You can learn n number of courses till the validity of the same. There is another question from Mr. Gaurav, which states that you have just now completed your PGDM in project management, but you want the LinkedIn Learning subscription, so I can get this course at 4,000 INR still now. Well, yes, if you are having an MIT SG ID, just get in contact with your RM, and accordingly we can initiate the proceedings. So for all the students who have attended this, you can always post in a question of a query of yours on LinkedIn Learning at mitsg.com. And over here, I would like to have a vote of thanks to Miss Ritu Pal, wherein really thanks a lot for this wonderful insight, sharing session on LinkedIn Learning, wherein it was very interactive, wherein you, got us through the sections of LinkedIn Learning, how to use it, because generally it's always, PPT mode. But this has really given us insights to all of our students, and we would definitely like to call out all our students to subscribe at the earliest if not done yet, and again reach out for any queries on LinkedIn Learning on our official email ID linkedinlearning at mitsg.com. Thank you. Thanks to all.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was great being here today. Thank you.